Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jahabar. I shaved today, took off my Afghan hat. So I look more like a regular Malaysian than an Afghan Islamist. So when Tun Razak passed away, I was 8 years old. And well, he died, right? So all I know about him was this long road around KL. It's a lot of traffic. And for the longest time, that was my memory of Tun Razak. But today I was reminded, actually last year, I was reminded of Tun Razak's death because his youngest son, Dato Sri Razak, wrote a long, impassioned letter and selected only 3 media to carry it: The Star, The Edge, and the Malaysian Insider. And that article caused a lot of havoc within Malaysia, within his family. I can tell you that. Because in essence he said what his father taught him was if you are lost, you go back to the original point of start all over again, which I think a subtle reminder to his eldest brother, who's the Prime Minister of Malaysia. And I think tonight, this forum, there's a huge elephant in the room, and I'm talking about the Prime Minister, nobody else. That invariably we will compare his late father to his rule. But there are a lot of differences. None more apparent than a comment today made at the Malaysian Insider that said this. After reading our 7 AM story, someone commented, nobody, even his family, knew he had leukemia. But everybody knows the Prime Minister had E. coli. Right? So I think that's the gulf of difference. Okay, so now that you know that gulf of difference, I think the other huge difference is this. Our country was young when Tun Razak was our Prime Minister. Our country was, and I won't use this word moderate. Moderate is a wishy-washy word that says I'm neither here nor there. You know, it doesn't mean anything. It means if the right goes to the far right, the right is the center, and the center is the left. So you're wishy-washy and you're nowhere. I like to think that the earlier years of Malaysia was very liberal. I grew up reading the New Straits Times because the Star was a Penang paper, and I saw pictures of okay, so I got this little note that says I've used a mixture of Malaysian and English because this is a rocket kidney function. Okay. So you spell rocket in English or in Malay? Okay, Pak, saya akan cuba pakai bahasa Malaysia ya. Okay, so I was saying, Malaysia was very liberal then. We had pictures, and I'm going to use a Malay word now, of Tun Razak and Tunku Rahman doing the joget. That's a Malay word. Okay, that's a polite word, joget. It was actually ronggek. So I think at the time, I didn't see Saudara Lim Kit-Siang doing the joget, but at the time, everybody seemed to have fun. The country was very liberal, very modern. Everybody wore suits. Tun Razak wore safari jackets. Hardly saw him in a baju Melayu. That's another Malay word, my friend. I'm really comfortable speaking English, so please excuse me. So you had a time when the country was liberal. Yeah, amat liberal sekali. And we didn't have this huge issue of people policing our morals. It was left to us. I went to school in 75. I didn't have to go for Ugama lessons because I was studying belief I'm Muslim. But our parents took care of mengaji Quran, right? We didn't have to go to school. We didn't have a dua in the morning, Islamic dua. I went to a mission school. Today they have this. We didn't have all kinds of things that says the state will take care of you. Will take care of you physically, will take care of you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We didn't have that. Tunku and Tun Razak's time, they were interested in the national development. You had the Red Book. I don't know how many of you remember the Red Book. The only Red Book you'll remember is Mao Zedong's little Red Book. But Tun Razak had a red book on national development. You know, my parents were excited because that included planting your own vegetables in your little plot at the back of the house. We were going to the oil shop. Country was going through good times and bad times. It was an agrarian country, it wasn't industrial yet. We only had a population of 10 million people. We were a very young country. Tun Razak was young. He chose very young people in the aftermath of 1969. Today, our rejuvenation process as a country is to choose older people. I will give you two examples. Just 2 weeks ago, the MCMC, my industry's regulator and not the Facebook regulator, the chairman had his service ended, it wasn't renewed. They replaced him with a former chairman, 20 years older than him. And they replaced the former chairman, the telecom chairman, with Sulaiman Mahbub, who's older than the chairman. So we are a country that's regressing. We're going back to older people, right? The youngest people, so the youngest person in this room today is probably Nurul Izzah. Right? You know, the rest of us are old. The rest of us were around when Tun Razak was alive. That says a lot, right? My point is, we had a prime minister who engaged in the youth, hired the youth, and made sure they were at all levels of government, from Petronas, the IGP. The IGP, Tun Abdul Rahman died in 1974 on June 8, which happens to be my birthday, so I remember this. So he chose someone who was 35 years old at the time, Tun Hanif Omar, as he's known now. 35-year-old man, he jumped over so many other people to be the IGP. Because Tun Hanif Omar served for too long a time. But the point was, people like Tun Razak invested in youth. You know, he was in his 40s, he invested in very young people. Today, you'd be hard-pressed to find this government and the ruling party investing in youth. Okay, and that's a huge problem for me because as a journalist, and I've been a journalist for far too long, I want to find younger people who can write. I have the problem that Tun Razak never had. I don't have enough young people who are brave enough to say, here, you be the IGP, here, you take this role, here, you do this, you do that. Tun Razak found people who would do it, who took the challenge. His legacy is lost among us because today, young people, and that's sad if I say that because I still think I'm young. Today, young people say, no, hang on a minute, why don't you do it? You know, you show us the way. We keep outsourcing our lives to the government. You know, and I don't think that's the legacy that Tun Razak left us. I think he left us with a saying we have to be confident. 12 years after our country became independent, we had race riots, right? And within 5 years of the race riots, he founded Barisan Nasional. He got everybody together. He got people together to heal a lot of wounds. You know, today we go on with this lingering, festering wound of a racial divide. People of different religious cloth eyeing each other suspiciously, each thinking that each other's God is superior. We have a country where Tun Razak decided the medium of instruction is Bahasa Malaysia. Bahasa Malaysia, which I don't speak much, but I was the first year to study Bahasa Malaysia as a medium of instruction. But today, all of us speak Bahasa Malaysia, but we can't use some words. We can't use some words because it's exclusive to only some people. And how sad is that? You compare to Indonesia. I worked in Indonesia for 2 years. I probably speak better Bahasa Indonesia than Bahasa Malaysia. But the point is, everybody speaks one language, right? And they can use any which word they want. So I have to agree with Nurul Izzah that maybe we have dismantled his legacy, and how do we go back and get that? You know, but his greatest legacy to us, I like to remind everyone, is that he made the youth of his day empowered to believe they can take charge of this country. So we cannot lose that lesson. If we lose that lesson, this country, which is today 52 years old, right? We are 52 years old. But I like to think that when Singapore celebrates its 50th year as a nation, we actually celebrate our 50th year as a nation without Singapore, without without, I would say it's a disturbing element in our country. I mean, I think we still go through separation pains and anxieties. But we are now the new Malaysia of 1965, which is 50 years. So how are we as a country? We still, I still speak to my friends from Sabah and Sarawak and says, welcome to Malaysia. So how sad is that? When I go there, I get a stamp that says, welcome to Malaysia. You know, and that's an administrative thing because Malaysia is 3 territories. But my point is, today we are still not a nation. And I think Tun Razak, Tunku Rahman, when they decided, let's get together and form a nation, that within their lifetime, or within the lifetime of their children, there'll be one nation where the politicians, the leaders would be far younger than when they were our leaders. But the average age of the Malaysian cabinet is about 48. You know, the youngest person is a gentleman called Khairi Jamaluddin, who just celebrated his 39th birthday. We need to go to the time where we have more people, younger people, like the ones in front of me, say, let's take charge of this country. We cannot let the politicians say, follow me. No. We've got to be like Tun Razak and says, you guys take this responsibility and run with it. Right? And you've got to be a liberal. We cannot have, and this is my last point before I finish, we cannot be a nation on the global stage being run by village preachers or ustads, because that's what our country has become today. We had prime ministers who were educated in the UK, we had a prime minister educated in Singapore. Today we are a country where a prime minister educated overseas, but we seem to be run by a village preacher, you know, who says we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do anything. I would like to think that Tun Razak never said that you can't do anything. Do everything that you can do and make Malaysia a better place. Thank you very much.